buckle up, because I've got some things to say. Welcome back to another video. My name is Abby, and I am here to give you unsolicited book opinions on the internet. That's literally the entire reason that I'm here. Now, if you'll remember, all the way back to my very first video, I did a booktube Q&A, and that Q&A was meant to introduce you to me, my book tastes, what I like, what I don't, those sorts of things. However, there was something missing from that Q&A because I needed time. I needed time to test the waters of this booktube situation before I really dove into the deep end. And by the deep end, I do mean my bookish hot takes. Now, I know some people say, oh, I have a hot take, and then the take really isn't that hot. I would say that some of my takes are more like lukewarm. Like some people will be like, yeah, and a couple of my takes could be a little divisive. And I'm sorry in advance, but these are my opinions and I'm sticking with them. Some of these things are hills that I am willing to die on. I will fight this battle until my last breath. Some of them I could be convinced, but you would need to give me a PowerPoint presentation as to why I'm wrong. And I am very rarely wrong. So let's get into my bookish hot takes. The first one, I'm really starting off strong here. The Oxford comma is not a suggestion. I will die on this hill. The Oxford comma is necessary. And if a book does not have an Oxford comma, immediate red flag to me. Why are we not using the Oxford comma? Some people are like, oh, it's so pretentious. I'm like, no, it's good grammar. I'm such a grammar nerd. That comma stops people from being confused. And if you don't know what I mean by the Oxford comma, what I mean is, if you are listing something in a sentence, like let's say, Abby likes to read, knit, and snuggle her dog. Now, there are two different ways that we can write that sentence, one with the Oxford comma and one without. The one without makes it sound as if I like to read and knit and snuggle my dog. I'm not knitting my dog. Someone should call someone if I'm knitting my dog. Okay, that's weird and not grammatically correct. Whereas with the Oxford comma, it says Abby likes to read, knit, and snuggle her dog. No room for confusion. I will die on this hill. And if you disagree, I'm sorry, but you are wrong. You are wrong. Books must, authors, please, I beg of you, please use the Oxford comma, because otherwise it just makes no sense. It makes no sense, and I know I'm making a big deal out of something that is not a big deal, but I don't care. I am right. Moving on. My second hot take is, I don't know how divisive this is going to be. Maybe there's some real literary junkies who are going to be at me for this. But the second person POV is awkward, weird, and I don't think I have ever seen an example of it where it works. Why are we doing it? Why are we doing it? Come at me, okay? But I can't read that without just going ugh. It's unnecessary. We don't need it. What does it do for us? Now, listen, if you have examples of second person POV that is done well, send it to me, okay? This one, I am open to being wrong. I'm open to being wrong, but I don't think I am wrong. Now, number 3, I have shared in a previous video saying that it was a hot take, but I'm also going to put it here. Unless it is a religious text, no book should be over 1,000 pages long. I said what I said. Now, are there some people out there who would argue that Brandon Sanderson is a religion? That is up to you to decide. I'm not going to speak on that because the Brandon Sanderson group of people can be a little scary. But in my personal opinion, no book, unless it is a religious text, should be over 1,000 pages. It is not that serious. Just break it up into different books like everyone else. Please, I beg of you. I don't want to be carrying a brick around every time I want to read my book. Oh, now this one I would argue is a hot take because this is pretty divisive. I have no problem with a cracked spine. In fact, I encourage a cracked spine. I'm not going to read my book like this. I'm not going to. Why am I reading like? I'm going to have to go to the chiropractor if I'm reading like that. People who just. What are we doing? Crack the spine. Crack it. Okay? I highly encourage spine cracking. However, if you dog ear pages, straight to jail. Straight to jail. And actually, maximum security if you dog ear the pages of a library book. What are you doing? That is a criminal offense and you deserve jail time for that. And I'm sorry. But like, I'm not, why are you doing that to me? It really hurts my heart when like the actual page is dog-eared, which is weird because I don't feel the same about like annotating. Obviously don't annotate a library book, but like if you want to like mark up your pages, go for it. I did that in high school when I had to study books. So I don't, and it's nice to like look back at them. But if you dog ear a page, that's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line. We all have a line somewhere. That's mine. Now, I'm actually a little scared to say this. I'm actually a little scared to say this one. I think that there are some classics that are overrated. I think there are some classics that are overrated. I'm not going to name any names. But there are some authors who are considered authors of classics, and I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And I'm sorry. Prove me wrong. Now, this is coming from someone whose favorite book on planet Earth is Pride and Prejudice. So like, I'm not saying that all classics are bad. I'm not. I'm just saying that there are some that are overrated. And I don't get the hype. But I am still reading classics because there are some classics that I haven't read. Virginia Woolf's Mrs. Dalloway is currently sitting on my bedside table. So it's not as if I've sworn them off, but I do think there are some classics that are overrated. I said what I said. Oh, this next one grinds my gears. Oh, it gets my blood boiling. All right. Rough edges of books. Let me find an example of what I'm talking about. I don't know what this is called. This, when not all of the pages are flush. I want this. I want a smooth edge where I can easily go like this, find my page, easily flip a page. Okay, look how easy this is. Look how easy it is. Oh, flipped, done, dusted, moving on. What is this monstrosity? What do you mean that I have to... What do you mean? What do you mean that when I want to try and move forward pages, I'm moving forward like... I just went 5 pages. 5 pages. I need to calm down because that... Oh, my gears are ground. My blood is boiling. I cannot do it, okay? Straight to jail. Okay, I don't know if I have an example of this in my personal collection. I don't think I do. All right, this next one, I don't have an example in like a physical book that I own, but I'm pretty sure Stephen King's 11/22/63 had this. Oh no, maybe I'm calling out someone and I'm wrong. Someone tell me if I'm wrong, but when publishers, I don't know if it's the author's decision or if it's the publisher's decision, but when they have like a blank page after the end of a chapter and it's just blank and then it goes to the next chapter, why? It fills me with an unnecessary amount of rage when I see that in a book, because I'm like, in this economy, in the climate crisis that we are currently in, we are wasting trees for blank pages. Not on my watch. Illegal. That shouldn't be allowed. That actually shouldn't be allowed. And I know when I was talking to Matthew about this, he's like, it's probably so that like every chapter starts on like the right hand side or whatever. Or maybe it's so like It looks like a journal entry. I don't care. I don't care. Okay? As someone who likes physical books over ebooks, over audiobooks, I don't want to be hurting the trees any more than I already am. Okay? And like, why are we doing this? It's so unnecessary. If anyone has any insight into why that decision is ever made, please tell me. But the trees, my dudes, the trees. Why? I speak for the trees. I'm speaking for the trees, and this is unacceptable. Okay? Right. I am sure that there is a reason why this next one isn't possible. And like, I know it's an unrealistic expectation. However, if I buy the hardcover version of a book or the audiobook of a book, the two most expensive versions of the book, I think I should either get the ebook for free or the opportunity to buy it 50% off. And I don't want to take the money away from the authors. So if there's a way that we could do that where I'm not taking the money away from the author and just like, I don't know, big bad corporations, can we do that? But I just think that like people like to consume books in different ways. Like if I'm reading like an 800-page book and I want to go out, I just want to be able to also have the ebook, but I'm not going to spend that money. And if it's not on Libby or available on Libby, then I'm sort of like stuck between a rock and a hard place. And I think I should get the opportunity to have the ebook as well. Maybe there's a way that like you can scan a QR code or something and you can get it. And then when you're done, you just click done. And then it goes and someone else can do it. I don't know. Okay, this isn't a perfect science. I'm not a publisher. I don't know how this works, but those are my thoughts on that. Right. This next one might ruffle a couple of feathers, but I think that you can call yourself a fan of a series without having actually read the books. For example, if you have watched all the Harry Potter movies, or you have watched all of the Lord of the Rings movies and the Hobbit movies, I think you can call yourself a fan of Harry Potter or a fan of Lord of the Rings without having actually read the books. Are you missing out? Yes, 100%. But people who are like, oh, if you have watched Lord of the Rings and haven't read the books, then you're a fake fan. And maybe I'm just saying this because I'm a little sensitive because I have not read Lord of the Rings yet, but I would consider myself a massive Lord of the Rings fan. It's on my list, and I know I'm missing out. This is the thing. I know I'm missing out, but I don't think we should be shaming people for not reading the books. Some books are really hard to read, you know, and like the movie has made it more digestible and available to a multitude of other people. So I think you can call yourself a fan. I think that's fine. Right. Prequels and sequels are unnecessary. They're unnecessary. Like, prime example is The Hunger Games. I think the Hunger Games trilogy, which I have behind me, is a modern classic. I think it should be considered a modern classic. An incredible trilogy, incredible story, incredible characters and plot. I love that trilogy so much. I read A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and it was hands down one of the worst books I've ever read. I'm sorry, and I just don't care about prequels and sequels. I just don't care because like I know what's happened later down the line. So like why do I care? I don't know. That one might really get me in trouble. But I don't think prequels and sequels are unnecessary. I don't think I have ever read a prequel that has come even close to the original book or series of books. I don't think I ever have. Yeah. I was about to say sorry, but I'm not sorry. My next one is, if you are a parent reading books to your baby, your toddler, your young kiddo, I think that if you're reading that book over and over and over again, that counts towards your reading goal. Like, you can have Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn and The Very Hungry Caterpillar in the same list. You're putting in the pages, you know? And also, those kids' books have really good stories, really great lessons and morals and values that are being bestowed upon your kid. And you're putting in the time. You're putting in the time. You're putting in the effort. You're reading it out loud. You are an audiobook, a narrator for your child. Put that towards your reading goal. Please, what are we doing? What are we doing? You deserve that. You deserve that recognition. Right, this last one is going to be divisive to a select group of people. And it's not necessarily about a book, but it is book related. And this is the take. The 1995 BBC miniseries of Pride and Prejudice is better than the 2010 Keira Knightley version. I said what I said, okay? I said what I said. You can have your own opinions, but if you think the 2010 version is better than the 1995 version, I don't think we watched the same movie. And listen, is the score like impeccable? Is Keira Knightley incredible and Matthew McFadden? Yes. But Colin Firth, okay? Colin Firth, be still my beating heart, will forever be Mr. Darcy to me. He will forever be my Mr. Darcy. And Pride and Prejudice is my favorite book of all time. Of all time. And the 1995 version is just better. It's just better. And I'm sorry. I'm actually not sorry. And if you disagree with me, it's okay to be wrong. So bad. I'm going to catch so much hate for that. I'm sorry, but I'm not. Well, I'm really glad that I got that off my chest. I felt like I was holding out on all of you. So now you know me better than you did before. I feel like we've now just aired out all the dirty laundry and we can move on together as friends. I feel closer to all of you. If you have made it to the end of this video and you haven't clicked out of rage, then thank you so much. I know this was a bit of a different one, but I just really wanted to get all of that out there in the open, so that I wasn't pretending anymore, okay? I couldn't go on. If you have any bookish hot takes that I have not said, please pop them in the comments below. I would love to get your take on things. If you think I'm wrong on anything, that's okay. That's okay. Put down in the comments why you think I'm wrong nicely, please, because we are civilized human beings who are able to express themselves in a kind and respectful way. That's the vibe that we're going for on this channel. And just remember, I am a random person on the internet, and these are my opinions. If you don't like them, that's okay. Then they're just not for you. You can move on. It'll be okay, I promise. But if you have input, if you have ideas, if you have book recommendations, please throw them down in the comments below. So until next week, I hope your book is good, and I hope you have unhinged opinions about it. I'll see you next week. Bye.